We are live. We are tampering out here. Maybe not today. I don't know. We tampered yesterday, a little bit slower today. But it is time, Boy Green and I, we're going to look at the past. We're going to look at those moves that were made yesterday, and we will give it the grades, all right, that you guys are looking for. How did we do yesterday? Then we're going to look at the present and look at the future. Who do we still want these New York Jets to pick up? Because there's a lot of work that needs to be done in like several rooms, definitely looking at the wide receivers, but a lot of rooms. So let's look at that right after the intro. Boy Green meets Wudi.
Can you guys help us get a Jet chant here? Yeah, going.
Oh.
Okay, right. Come on in.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go!
J-E-T-S, Jets! Let's go! J-E-T-S, Jets! Let's go! There you go,
Third Party Thursday.
Chris joining us here on the program with a capital P here on the program.
Jake Asman, come on down. How you doing, good sir?
Wow, what an intro. I mean, Boy Green is known for having the intro, but Wudi, that was unreal, man. Thanks for the kind words, son.
We are men of many names.
My favorite Austrian Jets fan right there,
Nice.
baby.
Boy Green
Meets Wudi. Welcome to another episode of Boy Green Meets Wudi. It is your boy, James Wudi, and we are Wudi, rocking everywhere. The man right here, all right, the boy who became king, Mr. Paul Esden Jr. And let me tell you something. This is a special episode because this is the first episode of Boy Green Meets Wudi. That's not just on one YouTube channel. It is actually on two YouTube channels simulcast at the same time. Shout out to Dane O, right? The man behind the danger zone in the comments, showing some love to like and subscribe to both channels. All right, at Take Flight Talk. I think he even had the handle in one of the comments. Dane, you are the man, the myth, the legend. Appreciate you big time. Definitely trying to rebuild that channel, Take Flight Talk. So definitely show love on both channels. But you already know what we cooking up. Boy Green, James Wudi, always having a good show. How are you, my good sir?
Yeah, so I'd like to just say congratulations on the rebirth, the renewal. It's alive of Take Flight Talk. So people, for those that don't understand what's going on, we are live streaming actually right now in 5 different places. YouTube.com/BoyGreen25, Twitter @BoyGreen25, and you know what? Wudi impressed me so much. I'm on Instagram live @BoyGreen25. Why the hell not? And on top of that, we're also live on James Woody's Instagram and again YouTube. Take Flight Talk. Make sure you support both of our channels. Wudi is now growing his own. He's not separating. We're doing it together, but he's doing all his own content as well, which you can find again at Take Flight Talk. It's just like that as it is on the screen. So congratulations to Wudi. This bird is getting ready to get kicked out of the nest and show all the chutzpah and all the wonderful things that obviously he's learned from my handsome self. So it's about damn time. It's about damn time. And speaking of it's about damn time, there's a lot we have to get to here, Wudi. Before we get to the beginning of the show here, there has been some membership raining from high above here on the channel. Quick shout out to Badshaw, utilizing a different portal that not everyone does. I know Badshaw does. You guys can gift Boy Green Coffee Club memberships, which end up being raffle tickets via PayPal. And Badshaw does it all the time. He did it before the show, said, hey, this is for the Boy Green Meets Wudi show. And I said, damn straight, brother. And he's got 5 raffle tickets for our contest. So salute to Badshaw. Those are $2.99 a pop. So appreciate you there. And let's do this on top of what Badshaw contributed, which we obviously appreciate, baby. He's one of the best in the business. Our number one Austrian Jets fan just gifted a 20-pack, baby. Good Lord have mercy. All right, let me get the bifocals out. Let's read the 20 new members to the Gosh Darn Boy Green Coffee Club. We have Devin Chafin, Andrew McAllister, Farouk, Brian Scantleberry, Jet Up 3, Indy Jets, Big Green, Gator McCluskey, Daniel Diaz, David D, Jaro, James Fowles, DLB_1 Jets Arm, Hennessy Heisman, Gilbert Gonzalez, Mr. Bozak 122, Backwoods Aren't Cool, and the Flight Boys 2.0 Slim God, Hunter Hadziki, G Money, all members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Again, thank your number one Austrian Jet fan, and he has 55 raffle tickets so far this month, which is in second place behind A Step 10, but the gap is closed. One Austrian Jet fan has closed that significantly here on the program. So thank you, Austrian. Thank you, Badshaw. And as the Danger Zone says here, let's try to help Take Flight Talk get to over 100 subscribers. That would be pretty gosh darn cool. So again, you could subscribe at Take Flight Talk. Wudi, we got a lot of free agency action going on here, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. We will definitely talk about what has happened. We'll definitely talk about what we want to happen, right? We don't know what will happen. We don't have the crystal ball, even though Boy Green might have a crystal ball. We'll talk about Andre Cisco in a little bit, but I like that call out. Yeah, definitely got a lot to talk about. Last thing I'll say about Take Flight Talk before diving into that is, for those of you who are wondering what James Wudi is thinking on days other than Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. with Boy Green, this is your chance, right? On a Wednesday, on a Saturday, all those other days, just
Friday,
like Friday, right?
Monday,
Friday, right? You want to know what's going on there? I can
Sunday,
respond.
Saturday,
I'll have my own thoughts, and of course, Abby, who has been on this show multiple times, will also be sharing her thoughts on there as well. So speaking about thoughts, I guess it's time to hand out some grades, some report card. I know my guy, Take Flight today, Mr. Brent, who helped create that beautiful intro. He wants to know my thoughts. He was in the comments. So Brent, don't worry, you don't have to wait too much longer, my brother.
There you go. So, Professor, let's go to school here. The Jets have 4 official moves so far, and hell, maybe one will break live on the show today. That'd be fun. One was an in-house maneuver, and I guess the other one that's not included in the 4, I guess. And I don't know if this is requiring a grade, but because it's not on the list, I just want to throw this out there. The Jets gave a right of first refusal restricted free agent tender clause on one Tony Adams. What that means basically is what it says. If any team in the NFL offers a contract to Tony Adams, the Jets have a chance to match it. If they match it, obviously Tony Adams is signed by whatever that contract is. If they decline it, Tony Adams now a member of that new team, and the Jets lose Tony Adams for zip and pip, nothing. Or if Tony Adams, he waits a couple of weeks, he's like, oh, no one's signing me to anything. Okie dokie, I guess I'll just sign this tender. It would be just a little north of $3 million he'd be playing for the 2025 season. So more likely than not, unless we get some sort of a surprise, I would imagine Tony Adams will also be here. So I guess you could count that as a maneuver as well, potentially in the mix, on top of the other tenders for guys like Irv Charles and things of that nature. But low school stuff. I don't know if that requires a grade, Wudi, but
well, it's a good move. So we can say that.
Right.
I'll say right off the bat, hey, right, nothing wrong with keeping Tony if they feel like he's a good fit. And those other teams, like you said, don't really throw out the dough. Then of course, come on back, come on down.
And plus, he's Tony Adams. I don't know if he's going to be starting in the safety room. Again, we'll get into one person we know who's going to be starting the safety room. Tony Adams is sort of up in the air. I think he'll be a rotational third safety probably, depending on the other moves the Jets make. He's dirt cheap, a former undrafted free agent. Why wouldn't you want to tender that guy and bring him back to the squad as a guy and see what work he could do with the Jets? Have a great defensive coaching staff. Offense leaves like, oh, what's going to happen there? There's a lot of unknown. I don't know. Tanner Angster, what's he going to look like? You feel a lot better with Steve Wilkes, Dre Bly, Aaron Glenn. There's just a very strong defensive staff, specifically in the secondary. So you really got to like the gambles that are going to be made. I'm curious what happens with Tony. So yeah, I'd give it a high grade as well. Sure. To get a potential starting caliber player for dirt cheap is a good move for the Jets. I guess we could start in-house before we go to the external free agents, and this was the first move that came across the docket. It was on Sunday evening. Jamie Sherwood. And if I go back to a Boy Green Meets Wudi episode from last week, I said, hey, Wudi, we're hearing some prices on Jamie Sherwood. Rich Cimini said it's going to be at least $8 million per year. Zach Rosenblatt of The Athletic said, it could be 8 to 10. Oh, okay. And Tom Pelissero says, boys, it's going to be 12. And 12 and a half, perhaps. And Wudi, you said, well, 12 and a half is as high as I'm willing to go, baby. Well, he signed for $15 million per year. James Wudi, so I'm very curious. You could give out the grade first professor a 3-year deal, $45 million, $30 million guaranteed. He's only counting against the cap $5 million for this year. Again, they're going to be spreading out the love from that perspective. $15 million per year puts him inside the top 7 highest paid linebackers in football. And I say top 7-ish because, again, some of the contracts are still floating. Nick Bolton, he got the same deal, and there's a couple others. But basically, it's top 7 in the National Football League on a per-year basis. What grade are you giving that, Professor?
Well, as I thought I was gonna have to recap, so I'm glad that you recapped.
Yeah.
And I felt that that is too high. After seeing some other contracts getting doled around, Javon Kinlaw, I actually think Javon Kinlaw got the same deal. They're the same exact numbers.
He did. What the hell?
So after seeing some of that overpaying going around, I'm actually gonna give this an A-.
Ooh.
Jamie Sherwood, is a good linebacker, right? Homegrown, led the league in solo tackles. I had no beef with him. I just felt like, hey, we looked at the top 10 the year before versus the top 10 to assume like, oh, next year Jamie Sherwood is about to do that again. I think would be misleading, but he's still a quality player. He's 25 years old. And if they can develop him the way that the previous regime developed Quincy Williams, then this is kind of a steal. It's kind of a steal. So that's a big if, but that's where I'm leaning, is that it's an A- based on the other contract. In a vacuum, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I was upset. I was like, that much money.
Wow.
Well, that much money. It was like,
oh right, yeah.
And like, if I'm Quincy, right, when it's time to pay me, I'm like, all pro, like, look at my credentials, and this is what you paid him, pay me more, right? Like that's now the conversation that we have to have. So I was upset for that reason. Like, now, gonna have to pay Quincy, gonna have to do that. Remember, I don't want to get rid of CJ, so I'm trying to keep the band all back together. Sure. So I was definitely upset with the amount of money that he was given, but given all the other contracts I've seen, how many people the Patriots overpaid. If we're going to overpay somebody, it might as well be our own and show the rest of the players like, hey, we want to keep our good players. And I think that's what they did. So overall, A-.
Yeah, that's a little richer than I'm going to give it a B+. Again, I agree with the back end of what you just said. If you're going to overpay someone, don't overpay a stranger. Overpay what you already know. And you have a 25-year-old, one of the best draft developmental stories for the Jets, a random day 3 pick at a different position, converting, and just biding his time. We never even knew if he was even going to get his time. There was a world where the Jets have to pay Jamie Sherwood, not having this past year as a sample size. He wasn't supposed to be the guy. You mentioned it. C.J. Mosley was the guy. He gets hurt week 2. The Jets slap Jamie Sherwood on the ass and go, well, Sherwood, it's your time to shine. And he did. Credit to him. And he cashed in a big way, literally and figuratively. Now, $15 million per year is incredibly rich. Again, to get the same deal Nick Bolton got, and I put Nick Bolton and then Jamie Sherwood together, and I'm looking at both of their numbers and analytics and things, and I'm like, I don't know. Nick Bolton's done more. Nick Bolton's had more opportunity. But I also think this is a common misconception of free agency land. You don't pay someone for what they did in the past. You pay for what they will do for you in the future. I don't give a flying it, right? 30-time All-Pro Tyron Smith walks down. I'm not paying him for his Hall of Fame career, $100 million. I'm paying him for whoever the hell he is right now at this moment in time, or what I believe he is and what he can do. That's how free agency works. So I'm going B+. I love that Sherwood's staying here. There are a lot of questions about that room. Again, still what's going to happen with C.J. Mosley? Does he retire? Does he get cut late? Quincy Williams. Oh boy, that's a separate podcast of like Quincy going, the hell? I'm making $6 million, and this guy's more than doubling me up on a per year basis, and I'm an all pro. And who the hell is this? So Quincy seems like a really good guy. So I don't know if he's going to ruffle these feathers or cause this storm because he's entered the last year's deal. But there's a potential drama bomb happening there. But again, maybe that's a future podcast. We could talk about that separately. B plus. Jamin's a young guy. I think he has all the potential in the world. This past year was spectacular for everything that you factor in all the narratives and everything into it. I'm so excited about what he can do, knowing the full offseason. Hey, Jamin, you're the guy. You're the leader. You're the starting linebacker, and how he can improve. I'm really excited about it. So yeah, give me a big fat B plus.
All right. I mean, yeah. I was in the B plus game as well. I ultimately bumped it up because of his age, right? If they do,
sure.
Like you said, you got really good point. You pay people for what you expect them to be during this contract. So if he does elevate to that level, then it will be a solid contract. But yeah, I keep talking about Quincy. I'd be pretty bummed, or not bummed, but just hey, look at my resume, look at his. But we will move on. We will move on to the next free agent. Easily the most popular free agent. I believe the first, right? That's what I'm trying to go in order of when they were signed. So
yes, that's correct. That would be external after Jamin. Yes, this next guy you're about to say was next. Yes.
Yeah. All right, I guess I'll just say it. I'll start off with my grade.
All right.
I'm gonna give it a B.
Oh,
for what do you mean? What are you saying? What are you for real? B. Justin Fields. Justin Fields. Brent, can you hear that in the back? Let's go. Justin Fields. I'm giving it a B. It was much lower actually until this morning. I was on NY Jets Flight Talk with Connor Long, the man,
sure.
the myth, the legend.
Yeah.
And he had Rich on the show, Rich Cimini from ESPN.
Wow, terrific.
And they were talking. And, it's not as bleak as I was thinking. Because here's the thing.
All right.
I think there is absolutely zero chance that Justin Fields is the Jets franchise quarterback. There's like
0%.
If you want to give it like a 0.5, you can do 0.5. Yeah.
Wow.
Sure.
Well, I would. Yeah, that's what I would. I'm going to do it when I do my whole bit here about mine. But to interrupt, like to me, let's throw a couple of names out there. Carson Wentz. What are the chances he's the Jets franchise quarterback? 0%. What are the chances Marcus Mariota is the Jets franchise quarterback? 0%. Like that's zero. We know what those bastards are. It's over. Okay, they're on the back nine. All right, Justin Fields, he's 26. A 0% chance that he has a Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, chutzpah grabs the bull by the horns. All of a sudden, he's the guy. I wouldn't call it 0. I'm not saying it's 100%, but 0. How disrespectful! Good lord!
Don't you dare put him in the same breath as my glorious king, Sam Darnold. All right, I said I'll move up to 0.5. 0.5. So there's a 0.5% chance that he could be the franchise. But see, that's what I mean, is that this distraction with the from the fan base, I think it could be detrimental. And that's why, although I moved it up so much from what it was, I couldn't move it into the A because we talk about drama bomb. I think this is about to be a drama bomb. All Fields needs is like 2,200 passing yards, 15 passing TDs, and like 10 rushing TDs, right? So 25 total touchdowns, and every single person in the fan base is going to be like, bring him back. Bring him back.
It's on a 2-year deal, so,
Okay, so do it for 2 years in a row. And they're going to be like, extended, like, he's the guy. He's the guy, just,
all right.
His best football is still in front of him. But like that's not good enough. Like I don't think he's good enough. I haven't seen the improvement that people are trying to say. I feel like they're trying to sell us Justin Fields. Each year. I'm not seeing it. I don't think he's good enough, but I do think that this fan base is so starved for a franchise QB that we're just hoping, let's just click. Oh, he's 25, he's 26. Oh, yes, please. I think this might distract the team from actually developing the next guy. And that's why ultimately I cannot give it an A. I did move it up to B because Rich said that he still thinks that they're going to draft a QB this year and try to develop him. Yeah. But that's the pressure of the fan base that I think is going to come in, and all Fields needs to be is decent. And the fans are going to be like, let's make him the quarterback for the next 10 years. But decent usually doesn't win you Super Bowls.
Well, I guess we're going to have a difference of opinion on this one, James. Gosh darn Wudi. Give me an A+. Plus. Here's why. Let's go through every layer. First off, when you know that door number 2 is Carson Wentz or Marcus Mariota, okay, there's a bit more pressure to make sure you get your guy in Justin Fields in my mind. So we're grading these moves, right? So like, for instance, you made your Jamin Sherwood case. You said, hey, I graded it on this, but seeing what the other people went for, that sort of changed my grading system. That factored in the context of the offseason. It's not just in a vacuum, this guy for this amount of money, not knowing anything else. We know everything else. Well, relatively speaking, for certain situations. Justin Fields, Connor Hughes told me what door number 2 and door number 3 is on this Bachelor show I didn't want to go on. And he said, Carson Wentz, Marcus Mariota. I'm like, geez, Lou, please lock in Justin Fields ASAP. And they did. So that move, that part of it, to me is A+. And the other part of it is he is a young, impressionable man at 26 years of age. The canvas still is unfinished. There's more paint that can be splattered here. You said, I don't really understand some of the upgrades and pivots that people have been saying about Justin Fields of trying to sell me on. Last season, 4-2 at the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not his fault. It's not his fault he didn't play more, but they're 4-2. Okay. That's more wins than losses last time I checked. That's very nice. He had a career high in completion percentage, 65.8%. I like that. Career high in quarterback rating, 93.3. I like that very much. He had 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. Oh, that touchdown-interception ratio seems pretty gosh darn good to me.
They don't count rushing touchdowns in a touchdown-interception ratio.
I just did.
Yeah, but they don't. So
I do. So, anywho, but 10 total touchdowns to 1 interception. I love that. And Justin Fields has averaged over 50 yards rushing per game throughout his entire career. He is going to take this year, though, but yes, keep going. In his career. Again, he is going to take this Jets running game to another level. There will not be a day alive next season where Breece Hall does not have 20 carries in a game. He is going to get the rock. The running game in general is going to improve, and we're going to see a completely different Jets offense that we've seen in a long time. We're going back to ground and pound with a new way. Mark Sanchez's lightly athletic ass has nothing on what Justin Fields brings to the table from that perspective. So even ground and pound then, it was ground and pound with all these other running backs, not ground and pound with the quarterback. You can have a designed quarterback run package with Justin Fields. And then let's see what happens with the passing game. That is going to be the tip of the cap is on Tanner Engstrand, who a lot of people seem pretty happy about. Tanner, along with everybody else, obviously had a hand in saying who's going to be the next quarterback of the Jets. And they identified Justin Fields. And Tanner apparently in the room. We'll see what One Jets Drive backup footage. I love when we get that on free agency conversations, right? They say, all right, let's bring up Justin Fields. And everyone in the room has a say. I can't wait to see that when One Jets Drive hopefully drops that later this offseason. And hear what Tanner Engstrand is saying when he's like, guys, this is the guy for my offense. This offseason, this is the guy I want to put my chips on, and let's give it a whirl on the machine. And that's why, to me, I'm so excited. So I see Austrian here says, Wudi BG, do we get a splash move? How about 2 years, $40 million, $30 million guaranteed? Justin Fields is the splash, baby. Get the scuba gear on. And there are more splashes to come. Okay, Austrian, there's more splashes to come, and we'll get to that, hopefully, when we're at the end of the show looking ahead. I'm just telling you that when you look at Justin Fields, this is an incredibly exciting move. There's a chance that he can be our Sam Darnold, our Baker Mayfield, with 4 of our 5 offensive line starters under contract, throwing to Garrett Wilson, who spent 2 seasons with the college. I just posted an article, by the way, on Heavy on Jets. It's not on the Facebook page yet, but I finished it just before the show. And Garrett Wilson's already come out and said, I love this move. But amen. Okay, with Aaron Rodgers, he said, I might consider a trade if Aaron Rodgers comes back. And Jets like, oh, geez. Justin Fields comes in. He says he's very happy. Great. That's good news for the Jets there with that relationship. They had 2 years of college football together, and they did pretty well. They were 20-2 as a team, and both sides put up video game numbers. I love this move for the New York Jets. It's an A+. There is no grade higher that I could possibly give this in this situation. And I think the other factor here is realistic options. Okay, Wudi says maybe the A+ move would have been Patrick Mahomes. Oh, was that available? No. So my A+ move of what was available realistically, Justin Fields was the best quarterback the Jets could have gotten, and they got him.
Well, that top three in itself leads me to believe that I don't even know if we should be having the faith in Tanner Engstrand that we, or I guess that you have put in him. Because when I look at the QB options available, I don't think that's the top three. I would not put Mariota or Carson Wentz anywhere near the top three of my list. So that's what.
So what do you think that says? What do you think that says that they were looking at those other options instead of, to your point, the top five of? I assume Jameis Winston may appear on that list, or guys of that nature. Why do you think the Jets, apparently, based on the reporters, weren't looking at that?
That's what I mean. That I feel like that's a point of concern. I think that's a point of concern. We don't owe, and that's another thing. We don't owe them our good faith. Like we have the right to be able to question, right, and figure out what's going on. You know what I mean?
I don't, but I'll try to understand because, to me, I feel like they deserve. And Ty Butler, my former intern and turned superstar ESPN radio host in New York, he smacked me a couple weeks ago when I said, "Oh, this new regime," virtually. He would have probably Will Smith me. Keep that out of your mouth. And smack the taste buds out of my mouth. But I said, hey, this when all the Cam Ward trade up conversations were happening, and people asked, someone asked out on Jets Twitter, hey, are you cool with the Jets doing this if they do it? And I said, absolutely, I am. If they believe that this is the franchise quarterback, they have the benefit of this is what I said. They have the benefit of the doubt because they've never fucked up the Jets quarterback situation before. So yeah, you have the benefit. Everyone to me starts here. When you make mistakes, you start lowering. And now I'm like, oh boy, I don't know about this. But at 0, that's how I look at everybody in my life. Everyone to me starts at 0. And when new information presents itself, people do good things. Okay, they just went from 0 to 10. Oh, they did horrible things, 0 to -10. And then that's sort of how I balance the barometer of my life. And this new regime taking over to me gets the benefit of the doubt until they fuck something up. So if they want to trade up for a guy, okay, they must have identified this guy, and I believe in whatever they believe.
Well, that's actually exactly what I'm trying to say, right? We're at 0. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're at 0. This signing, to me, doesn't move it up or down, right? I have to see what it is on the field. And I feel like this fan base, our fan base, love, we're the offseason champs. Every offseason, wow, we killed it. We made A+, right? A++. I cannot say that. I cannot say that because I've not seen anything that would warrant this to be an A+ move. I have not seen a game where Justin Fields or a season where Justin Fields was an A+ player. So that's why I cannot say that in good faith. For those that are saying, oh, negative Nancy, all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was called the same things when Zach Wilson was drafted. And I was like, yo, this isn't going to work out. And what are people saying? Oh, upside. Did you see that throw at the pro day? And then next thing you know, wow. Sorry, Wudi. Sorry. So here we are. We're back on the hamster wheel. Justin Fields is a QB. Now he's the savior. I'm saying, I don't know. We have 4 years of data that probably prove otherwise. And I'm negative Nancy. I'm not, all that type of stuff. But in 2 years, maybe even 1, since he, is pretty much getting gifted the starting role, we can revisit this conversation. And, I won't gloat. I've never been one that's been known to gloat or anything like that. I'll just, and I'm not even happy, right? It's not even like I'm happy that Zach failed. I'm not happy. I'm hoping to be wrong. I'm tired of losing. Boy Green. I want to be a winner. I'm trying to have a winning franchise. So hopefully Justin Fields proves me wrong, and it's the second coming of Lamar Jackson like you guys are expecting. I pray every day, starting yesterday, because that's how long he's been a Jet, that is the case. But if it's about holding my breath, I cannot hold my breath till that happens, because then I would die.
Yeah, that you would. Quickly, is this Woody's channel? Yes. That link that you are commenting on, Jimmy Jets, is Woody's channel. Again, Take Flight Talk. We'll see if we could do anything to make that more clear, I guess, if that is Woody's channel over there. But yes, that is it. So you like the video, hit subscribe over there. We're streaming on 5 different platforms, including Woody's new YouTube channel. Again, Take Flight Talk. Make sure you guys subscribe over there so you can get all of our content as we're cross-streaming, and also new content that Woody will have exclusively on that channel that will not be available over here. So please support our main squeeze, James Wudi. And good Lord have mercy, a $50 super chat coming through.
God damn.
Wow.
There you go. Every time I get a super chat, we hear from my daughter, Zariah Luna, although I like the new James Wudi. God damn. Now, I might have to add that to the rotation. What's up, fellas? So happy about Fields. Great. And he had another follow-up super chat. I just want to bring that up real quick because he said there was a typo in there. So another super chat coming through, which we appreciate.
Wow.
He was saying, great job getting the job done ASAP. He was a big advocate for Justin Fields and did want that deal done. And I agree, because you're looking at, and again, if guys, as we're live, if breaking news happens, feel free to send that in the chat so we can see it. But an example, right? So the Giants are holding it like, who's our quarterback going to be? But as soon as we were able, day numero uno, Jets are like, yeah, Justin Fields, bing, bang, boom, bam, bang. They have their guy. We can all disagree or agree or whether or not you love Justin Fields or not, but he's clearly the QB1.
That's it, B. Hey, let me just say something right now. If you come home with a B, all right, you're going to be hyped. You're going to be like, oh, nice, I got to be on that test. It's not like I said F. You guys are bugging right now.
B.
Like acting like I'm saying, oh, like this is the worst deal I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? I said it's a B. It's a good,
what kind of standards did you have in your house? You said you come home with a B. Ooh, that's great. Yeah, if you have shitty standards, I guess. No, man.
What?
Yeah, my parents cracked the whip. They wanted me to have that 4.0 GPA, and I'm not saying I got it. I'm just saying that was the expectation was up here. And if I came in, hey, I got a B, they don't go, wow, way to go, son. Way to get a B. No, hell no.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, you and Noah, we grew up together, for God's sake. So our father was dishing that out left and right, for Pete's sake. But A-Step 10, good Lord have mercy. Thank you for the sizable super chat, both here and your other super chat, which was a typo correction, apparently. You were in first place over Austrian Jet Fan. Now you're in super first place over Austrian Jet Fan with 76 raffle tickets for our giveaway this month. So A-Step 10, another A-Step 10 show, number 1 Austrian Jet Fan. He's going to have to respond, I guess. He has 55 memberships here on the channel. So, yeah, but... yeah, Wudi, yikes on the grading. I'm glad that, I'm a man of the people, so I'm glad the people really appreciate me. But yeah, your grading's been a little sus so far, a little sus.
I mean, hey, that's what that's what we always come back to. It's not, right? So many times it's like we do the popular move and then boom, we're back in square one. We're just on the hamster wheel. So sometimes you just got to
it's over. So, Wudi,
the hamster wheel's over?
Yeah. Hey. An hour, and now it's probably an hour and a half or something. I called the Rich Eisen show. I don't know if you heard, Wudi. Why would you? Not. Okay. So I we'll see. If they don't send out the clip, I'll go and grab it and then put it out in the universe. But I called the Rich Eisen show today. I said, let me see if I could get on. I was on hold for like 45 minutes. I'm like, maybe this is not going to happen. And then Rich Eisen goes, and let's go to Paul in Syracuse, Paul. And I said, hey, Rich, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but Rich, it's all over. We got our franchise quarterback, Justin Fields, 26, a piece of clay. We can sort of mold. And he's like, Paul, you're going a little higher register on me. Do you believe the things you're saying? I'm like, absolutely, I believe. I'm like, he's the guy, and he's like, I love the optimism. And then I don't know what else he said. Then they were like, all right, thanks, Paul. Boop. And so I have no idea what else that happened. But I called the Rich Eisen show, and I put it out in the universe that Justin Fields could be the guy. The hamster wheel's over. And I do want to say this from the contract before we move on to the other signings and stuff. And I know we're getting late on time, so we got to circle back around. But I love that this is a 2-year deal. So this is how it's going to work. If Justin Fields does what I say, and let's say it's this really nice year, well, Justin Fields and the Jets are going to the negotiating table, despite the fact there's 1 year left on the deal, and they're going to negotiate a long-term deal if he proves he's the franchise quarterback unequivocally. If he does not, the Jets go, well, okay, he could still be the bridge in 2026. And back to Woody's point, we're back on the hamster wheel. So how the contract is set up, the Jets won't be caught holding the bag of, geez, look what happened. Justin Fields was awesome, and now we got a franchise tag on. What do we do? And they're in this position. They have him on a 2-year deal, so they have that control. And with how the contract is structured, he should be here for both of the seasons, no matter what. So that's the part that I like with the contract structure. Is there's a little protection, and to be honest, $20 million per year. Let me ask you, I don't know if you know this off the top of your head. Where do you believe? So Justin Fields, $20 million per season annual salary. Where do you think that ranks among the highest paid quarterbacks in football right now?
Obviously super low, so I would imagine outside the top 20.
No, you're too far. It's 17th. It's 17.
Okay.
But still, that's below the watermark, right? Of 16, the top half of the league.
I mean, I was cool with Tyrod, who's less than that.
Right. I would have to double check with incentives and everything where he sits. But still, the point is that it's not bad. It sounds like a lot on the surface because Justin Fields, we thought he was getting a 1-year deal for $10 million.
I'm not expecting Fields to be anywhere near the 17th best quarterback in the league.
I'm not either. He's going to be top 10.
This is what I mean. This right now is what I mean, and I know some of it is just you playing, doing the shtick, but there are people who believe that, Boy Green. There are people out there that believe that, and
I believe
that's the problem.
All right, let's quickly go through because I know we're running along here. We got 700 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. We appreciate it. Let's go to the next move in order. Baltimore Ravens, and I'll say defensive back. He's listed at corner, but he's played both. That is Brandon Stevens. It's a 3-year deal for $36 million. Again, he has experience playing both corner and safety for the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead, Woody.
Grades. Like I said, they're not for the people. They are what they are. Give me a D. Pause. But that is a D. This was a pretty bad signing. Pretty much anytime you sign a player and that player's former media, fan base, everybody starts celebrating, throwing up the confetti, that's a bad sign. When you commit to that player, 3 years, $36 million, that makes it even worse. So I know, they have plans of using him differently. That's what I keep hearing, right? And we'll see how that works. People say, if there's any coach I trust to, get the best out of, DB, it's Coach Glenn. Why? Why is that? He not like he had the greatest secondary in Detroit or like any of the previous. I don't know why all of a sudden but I get it. We're optimistic. We're trying to wish this new regime into existence. I understand all that, but the fact of the matter is this was not a good signing. It was pretty embarrassing. He was getting cooked by wide receiver twos all season. The Ravens were one of the worst secondaries in all of football last year. They were actually 32nd, so they were the last. He was getting cooked by wide receiver twos. Marlon Humphrey got out. Then he was getting cooked by everybody. They want to use him differently. We'll see. The worst part about this deal is that he's gotten so much money from it that he pretty much you can't say, we're going to draft Will Johnson now, right? He's pretty much locked in that starting position. And I think that's the worst part. This is a clear downgrade from DJ Reed. If this was less money or a lesser player, at least you can say, bring in someone else in addition to, right? This is depth, bring in somebody else. But he's gotten so much that now it seems like he's the clear CB2, which is a huge, huge downgrade from DJ Reed, and probably can't bring in, a Will Johnson.
I agree on the Will Johnson part. I think with that contract structure, it's incredibly unlikely, unless, again, Brandon Stevens ends up playing some safety. Again, that picture's incomplete of where everyone's going to end up. But the beat reporters are saying DJ Reed replacement, so it goes to what you said. I'll give it a C+. I'm not going to go to a D. And the reason why I give it a C+, And you have to, face the music on numbers and stats of what people are saying and all the reasons that you brought up, like that every signing can't just be a home run great. I'm trusting AG on his secondary selection. He's a former corner, played in the National Football League for 15 years. I said all these wonderful things about this player that's last on this list that we have to get to quickly, but I trust Ray Bly. I trust Steve Wilkes. I trust this to get. They're looking at Brandon Stevenson. This is a talented piece of clay here. He's coming off a bad year, but 2023 was pretty good. And they look at that and say, hey, he's got all these traits. The thing that people keep saying, Zach Rosenblatt said this from sources he spoke with, is that Brandon Stevens is always in the right position, but he doesn't seem like he can make that killer play. Is that he's right there, but he just doesn't turn around his head or do this or that. It sounds like, if you were to believe that report, he's close, and so the refinement of coaching could be the difference of, I'm not saying he's going to be move over Sauce Gardner, there's a new number one corner in town, but if that is quite frankly the difference, that sounds like something that a really good coaching staff could be the difference maker and making a player take that next leap. And it's really a game of inches. If he's here and you could get him to here, I think that's sort of interesting. So that's part of it. I'm going to trust AG, who's a former corner himself. If he believes in this guy, I will too. Again, back to some of the commentary made earlier.
Yeah, I mean, again with that, I mean, we have yet to see, that top secondary under his watch.
Right.
Maybe magically for some reason this is the year. But to be so certain that something that has never happened will happen, to each their own.
Fair enough. Let's go to the last guy, Wudi. Andre Cisco, Jacksonville Jaguars safety, former Syracuse product, wink, signing a 1-year deal for $10 million with the New York Jets late last night. That's the most recent signing, unless, again, folks, if breaking news happens here on the show, feel free to shove it in. I saw Juwan Johnson re-sign with the Saints on a big deal, it sounds like. I have not seen the money yet. That was apparently a Jets target, so we could get into that perhaps on a different show. But Andre Cisco is the latest move as far as we know, late last night. That's one of your starting safeties, Wudi. Great.
Cisco, for those of you that follow me on IG, was my favorite signing of the day. So that's a B+ for me. Was not including Sherwood. Red Sherwood was the day before. So yeah, my favorite of Sunday. The day was Cisco. I mean, definitely young, very talented, has all the tools, to a room that we kind of have not really, paid too much attention to under the last regime. So I thought this was a really good signing. The only reason why it's not higher is that it's a 1-year deal. I don't love it. Of course, that's highly motivating for him. Like, hey, I got to ball out this year to get paid for the next. But I just think a little bit more faith shown in him, especially at that age. You would actually get more, in my opinion. You would actually get more buy-in, especially this year where you're trying to really instill that new culture. I don't think this is the time for 1-year deals. I think last year and all those 1-year deals is the exact time you do it. It's like, hey, I don't know if I'm going to be here, right? That Magic Johnson meme we was talking about. I'm not going to be here. We don't know. So, all right, here's the 1-year deal. But as you're trying to lay a foundation and, lay the groundwork for what you are trying to establish in a locker room, as a culture, as a franchise, I don't love it, especially with someone as young and talented as Cisco. So that's why I kind of rate it a little bit higher. Would have loved to see a little bit more commitment to him.
Yeah, I'd love to explain that. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I've gotten that question a lot from fans. Like, 1-year deal for $10 million. What's going on here? What happened? Why wouldn't this be this? Because all these other deals that we've mentioned are multi-year deals. Brandon Stevens, 3-year deal. Jamin Sherwood, 3-year deal. Justin Fields, 2-year deal, etc. So, number one, I'm giving it an A. I think Andre Cisco gives exactly, again, I've been saying it on Twitter, exactly what the doctor ordered. Just because I love patting myself on the back, I'm always on the injury report for a limp wrist from patting myself on the back so hard. Jake Asman on Friday, we did his free agency preview show. And the first question right off the chute, near the beginning of the show, Jake turns to me and says, Paul, realistically, among realistic options, who's the number one Jets free agent guy that you want, that you're targeting? Throw it on me. And I think there for a second, let me see. Well, I don't think it's a name people are going to know. Jacksonville Jaguars safety Andre Cisco. And I'm going to say a lot of the things I said then on Friday because I'm a prophet. A+ to me. If I'm grading myself, I'm terrific. A+. But if we're going Cisco, it's an A. This is not a typo, what I'm about to say. Andre Cisco, in his 4 years in the pros, in his 3 years in college, has 21 interceptions over the last 7 years. That's not a typo. 21 interceptions. He had 13 in college in 3 years. 12 of those came through the first 2 years, and he's had 8 in the pros. He is exactly what the New York Jets need. Last year, the Jets were 4th worst in interception. They only had 7 picks last year. They could not, for the love of God, catch an interception, whether it's in their pie hole or not, which obviously hurts the offense. When your defense can create takeaways, it gives short fields for your offense. And when your offense, depending on how you feel about Justin Fields, short fields offense should give them better opportunities to cash in. All of a sudden, that PPG, points per game stat, goes up a little bit more when you have a complementary defense. Now, Andre Cisco is not a perfect prospect. It goes to Woody's point. Man, this guy's young. Why only a 1-year deal? I think I can explain that quite simply. It's this. Andre Cisco's coming off a bad year. He got benched at the end of the year. There was all kinds of turmoil. I think it's worth noting in the coaching staff. Doug Peterson, the worst kept secret is his ass was getting fired. Andre Cisco, when he was drafted, you want to know who his head coach was? Urban Meyer. Okay? And Urban Meyer, there's a viral clip. You guys can go back and look this up. Urban Meyer didn't even remember Andre Cisco's name. There was a game preview. I am not shitting you. People Google this. This is truthful. They ask him an Andre Cisco question. He's kind of like, who? They're like, your safety you took in the 3rd round like 2 months ago? And I went, oh, yes. He didn't remember who Andre Cisco was. What an idiot. Talk about coaching malpractice of everyone around him, for God's sakes. So, this is a guy that's insanely talented. But the reason why, to me, it's not more than a 1-year deal is I think it's a 1-year deal for both sides. Number one, Andre Cisco is like, I'm coming off a bad year. Multiple years won't give me my money. I'm going to reestablish my value, and I'm going to prove that I'm the superstar player I think I am. And a year from now, hey, baby, I'm going to be getting the bag for the Jets or somebody else. Jets side, he's coming off a bad year. The Jets mitigate the risk by only signing him to a 1-year deal. If they go crazy giving the multiple-year deal, and that last year was the sign of things to come, they're like, oh, shit, we just signed Andre Cisco to this big deal, and the arrow is pointing down, and for good reason, because he was going to continue to stink. I think it's great on both ends. If Cisco's the great player we all think he is, Jets are going to re-sign him next year to a great deal, and he could be the Jet safety for the next 10 years. He's only 24 years old. That'd be great. And on the Cisco side, he has a chance to reestablish his value. So this is a Syracuse product, Long Island boy, all the works. I love this signing for the Jets. And I just think it's a perfect fit for exactly what they need. They need a center fielding ball hawk that's, again, playing center field in baseball where he's watching the quarterback. That is when Andre Cisco is at his best. I covered him in college. I got to do one-on-one interviews with him. I got to see him when he was a high school recruit getting recruited to Syracuse. I've seen the full Andre Cisco story, and I am so proud and happy that he is a member of the Jets. And he tweeted out about it that he's like goo goo gaga that 5-year-old Andre Cisco playing for the Jets means a lot to him, again, as a New York kid. So, again, this is just I got to slap a big fat A on it, and it makes me feel really good. I agree with Woody. It's my favorite signing, and throw Sherwood in there. It's my favorite signing the Jets have made this offseason. I love it. And again, when you have that defensive coaching staff I've been referencing for every other player, I think that's only going to take them to another level too.
Yeah, it's Boy Green's favorite signing, but not his highest grade.
Nope.
So that's kind of contradictory. But hey, at least my grades align with what I'm talking about. But that's so far. That's so far the Jets.
Yes.
Free agency. Now it's time to talk wish list. You guys have some time. I got some time. I got a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah, there's still work to be done. It is scary that there are people that are like, oh, there's work to be done, and the number one position they're not talking about. The number one position they are talking about is not wide receiver. I put an article out there on jetnation.com. Ooh. There's a plug right there, right? The website. Oh. And it was, hey, top 5 positions that need to be addressed this week. Mm-hmm. And I said number 1 was wide receiver. As a matter of fact, if we go through that list, some of them have been addressed poorly, by the way, Stevens at cornerback. But anyway, but wide receiver was number one by far. That was the first sentence of that part was this is the number one need by far. And there's still a lot of options. My boy Amari Cooper is still out there, right? A lot of the vets are still out there. But some of those sneaky guys like Boy Green's Darius Slayton, right, went in the first day. But my sneaky guy, I believe, I don't know, maybe I have to refresh his page.
Okay.
My sneaky guy, NWI, Nick Westbrook Ikini, is he still here?
Oh, yeah, I believe so. Let me check if I still have him on my list. I believe so. Again, I guess we have to check live, I guess, also as well. But yes, it looks like he is still available.
He's still available. Yeah, that's my guy. We need some help. We do. Wide receiver is a serious issue. Justin Fields, we don't have to keep being a dead horse, but I would like another option, another option for him, right? Yes, Justin, Garrett Wilson. Who's on the other side? Who is on it? Please. And I think Nick, that's not my ideal choice for a wide receiver 2. But that's somebody who's valuable in the room. If he has to play snaps, he can produce. He was just wide receiver 2 last year. So I really think getting in at least one, and then of course drafting another one is huge this week. So that's my number one. And then still talking about weapons, Evan Ingram is out there.
Oh, I love Evan. Yeah.
Would be huge. As a matter of fact, something that Connor Long brought up on the show today when I was on was the Eagles potentially shopping Dallas Goedert for a 4th round.
Yeah.
I literally lost my pen because I was signing so much during his show on that move. I would do that yesterday. All right. And then again today.
Connor appreciates a shout out, by the way. Connor Long.
There it is. Connor.
I'll have to check out the Ritz Samini interview. So shout out. Great job by Connor Long. There you go.
Yes. He was tremendous with Rich. And then, of course, I came in and we talked about, the future, which is pretty much what we're talking about right now. I would really like to make that move. We trade a 4th for Dallas Goedert. Is that something you would be cool with?
So
you have to think. What are you thinking about, Boy Green? Talk to me.
Okay, let me see. Here's the one thing I want to check is what's the contract situation for one Dallas Goedert? What's the situation for Dallas Goedert? Let me see here. Okay, it looks like so he has 1 year left on his contract coming up here for this season. He's under contract for 2025, and it looks like there's an out, so the Eagles could cut him straight up. It looks like in his contract. I love the base salary is only $1.2 million. That's very nice. It's got like some prorated signing bonuses, interesting workout bonuses. So he's got a massive cap hit, but his actual base salary is low because the Eagles have a bunch of void years in there. So maybe you could get him for a song. If the contract ends up being cheap in terms of his deal with the Jets, and then what do the Jets feel about it? Do they give him an instant extension? Is this a guy you're just like, let's play it out? We just need a tight end for this year, and then after we'll figure it out. That would be sort of interesting too for Dallas if they're going in that direction. So no, this is really the only hesitation. Excuse me. He's a fresh 30-year-old. He turned 30 in January. Yeah, I'd be interested. Michael Mayer's another guy I like a lot, and he's costing way less in terms of compensation. I loved him coming out of the draft. He's a complete tight end. It hasn't clicked in the NFL level, so take that for whatever you will. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe he's a bust. I don't know. But, that's going to be a 6th or 7th round pick for Michael Mayer. So I love that value, and he's dirt cheap, and he's on his rookie contract, and you have him under team control for an additional 2 seasons. He's probably the guy I circle, but you could sell me on Dallas Goedert. Sure. He obviously is a much more proven player, and you're paying for it in draft compensation than Michael Mayer is.
Yeah, and that's exactly it, right? If you want the more sure thing, you pay a little bit more, but I love Michael Mayer. I think he's been largely forgotten, but coming into the league, he was the Tyler Warren, Brock Bauer, right? Every year we get that one tight end that's put on that pedestal above all the other tight ends, and that was Michael Mayer. He had a suspension his rookie year, and I think that obviously the uncertainty of the Raiders is never a good place to develop. But we hope that this regime is the stopping of the hamster wheel. So if you hope that, then bring him in, fix this guy. And this is a guy who, like you said, is not going to cost a lot contract-wise or pick-wise to bring in. And now you have a reliable tight end for a couple of years to come. So either of those options, but, going back to the free agency concept, need a receiver. I mean, I like Amari Cooper. If you don't want any of these old dudes, right, because Diggs is still there.
Keenan Allen.
Cooper Kupp's getting released. I would stay away from Kupp, but that's just my opinion. Then, if we still want, a younger guy, Nick Westbrook and Heaney, sign me up. Evan Ingram is out there. I would not hesitate for Evan Ingram unless you trade for one of these tight ends. But you really can't. This week, I need to see an additional weapon, a pass-catching weapon for Justin Fields. We cannot be comfortable sleeping at night knowing that it's just Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I'll paint with some other broad strokes here for my wish list. Jedrick Wills is very high on mine. Jedrick Wills Jr. could be playing right tackle, played right tackle in all of college. Plug and play. You've lost Morgan, the New England Patriots, those traitorous bastards. So now we need a new right tackle. Jedrick Wills, while he hasn't played right tackle in the NFL, it looks like most of his snaps have been at left tackle. They converted him over after they drafted him, and he's had some issues with the Browns. It's a one-year flyer. Well, you have to do something. At right tackle, you give him a chance in the same the Andre Sisco, pitch. Hey man, come here, reestablish your value. If you're a guy, you're in your mid-20s, okay, you're a right tackle moving forward. If not, okay, go get paid somewhere else, and we get a comp pick wherever you go. So I think that's a great play. So he's high on my list. We need a right tackle. There's not a lot of great right tackle options out there. Jedrick Wills Jr., who's 26 years of age, would be a guy I'd love to circle the wagons on. As a guy coming in. We need a big fatty in the middle on the defensive linemen, and they are flying off the board like nobody's business. We need people next to Quinnen Williams, and we need guys that can fit that profile of exactly what they're looking for. And I heard Dalvin Tomlinson earlier. I was asked that in a super chat by the big fella earlier today too. Obviously, he would make a lot of sense and fit the bill, because on my dating profile, I have no problem with older guys. Calais Campbell, let's go. Let's get his 39-year-old ancient hieroglyphic ass over here. He's still getting it done. Calais Campbell would excite me. Obviously, there's the Lions love, which we've already talked about. Levi Onwuzurike, he's much younger. He's at 27. He'd be interesting. He dealt with some back injuries earlier in his career, but he's a fun player if you want to insert him on the meat of the defensive line. So, again, getting a Hogmolly there on the defensive side at defensive tackle is super important to me. And one that we haven't circled, but folks, it's pretty gosh darn important. It's a name I've said before, Azeez Ojulari. We need more pass rushers, man. What is Jermaine Johnson going to be? I hope that he's great. I hope that he comes back fully healthy, but we don't know. And even if we do know, you say, Paul, presto, Jermaine Johnson fully healthy. Oh my God, great. You still need a third pass rusher. Azeez Ojulari checks off a lot of boxes. He's 25 years of age, and he's another guy that could be had on a one-year prove-it deal to once again prove himself, and that I like as well. So mixing in my wish list with Wudi's, of course, I'd love a pass catcher, a lot of the things he said, but defensive lineman, give me a right tackle, need a pass rusher. There's a lot of needs still available for this team.
Yeah, this game is won and lost in the trenches, no doubt. Trench warfare last year was not great by any means. Jimmy Jets, no offense taken. I don't mind suiting up next to Q, but I think you guys would be disappointed with my PFF rating. So I would prefer if we went with some of the names that Boy Green said. On the edge, all right, Azeez is definitely a very interesting option. Younger guy. If you want one of those old dogs, which according to Boy Green's dating profile, which I had not been aware of until today, the older guys, Leonard Floyd was just cut coming off of 8.5 sack season. Sorry, excuse me. There's Dante Fowler.
Oh yeah.
Right. There's a couple of guys out there.
Those guys are more proven, far more proven, I would say, for sure, than Azeez.
Yes. Zadarius Smith, who was just on the Lions.
Yeah, right.
Is another one. I know people love that, right? Like, oh, anyone who's ever played for the Lions during Aaron Glenn's era. So Zadarius Smith is another. So any of those guys, I think, would be a huge. Like that's what I'm trying to see now. If it's not the trenches or a pass catcher, I don't want it right now. All right, that's
Mhm.
what I need to see. And one thing with the offensive line, and I know
Sure.
people hate hearing this. All right, I started getting flack the last couple of times that I said it. But if we need to change that Tucker to tackle, right?
Oh,
You
baby,
know,
you're back. Woody's back. Woody's back.
well, I mean, hey, I'm perfectly fine with how it is, right? And I love solidifying, that interior like how it is. But if because there are more guards on the market right
Of
now than
course.
tackles,
And in the
so
draft, it's that way too.
yeah, so that's what I'm. So, and we know what he can do. So if that's the case, you can get a Brandon Scherf, you can get a Kevin Zeitler, and just kick AVT out to the tackle position. That might be a really you have a really nice starting five by doing that.
By the way, you're the third person to bring that up. I heard that first from Zach Roseblatt on the I always mess it up. It's no longer Can't Wait. It's Flight Plan podcast, and I went, huh? And I'm like, yeah, it's one of those right Alonzo Morning. Nah, okay, it got me there a little bit, and then I heard Connor Rogers talk about it, and he said, and he like warned people. He said, I know a lot of people aren't ready to have this conversation because of the injury history, and what we ultimately need to decide is what's the commonality here. Is the moving causing the injuries? I mean, Robert Sauer said that. He also said a lot of dumb shit at his press conference, so I'm not really sure whether that's the thing we're supposed to believe. He said the moving around totally was a contributing factor to the injuries. Other people say not. So I don't know. It's up to you. So Connor Rogers talked about it, and now Wudi, the greatest of all of them, has jumped in and said, Elijah Vera, tackle. So we'll see what happens. So, yeah, ABT to tackle. There are more guards available. I agree. To me, I'd probably keep ABT's coming off a healthy year. I don't want any juju, especially for a guy that has injuries exploding in Denver. Speaking of superstition and juju, I'm like, man, you know what? He's been fine at right guard. Let's just find a right tackle somewhere else. That's what I say. But there's a compelling case to be made.
Yeah, absolutely. I know the tackle from the Broncos was they
Matt
unfortunately extended him. Yeah.
Yep.
But that was somebody who I was really intrigued with, and he is, on the younger side, right? He's in his 20s.
Yep.
So I really thought that could have been something. But he got re-signed, so I guess there was really no point in bringing that up. But I will say,
yes.
Shout out to June, the GM, in the comments. I agree. The best signing so far was, just keeping Sherwood home. And then, my favorite of the day for yesterday was Andre Cisco, the hometown kid. But I'm hoping to see more that can really knock my socks off. Really, again, if it's not in the trenches or somebody who can catch a football, I don't want it for right now. There's so much work that needs to be done, especially defensive line, especially wide receiver. Holy. And tight end.
Yeah, that's another one too. Tyler Conklin is still available, so we'll see whether or not that's a reunion that ends up coming to fruition. I want to give a shout out to everybody. We have 800 people in the room. We're streaming on 5 different places. This will be the new methodology for Boy Green Meets Wudi moving forward, so you can find it on my channel and Wudi. Support both. Again, we're trying to get Wudi to over 100 subscribers on his YouTube channel. So again, that is Take Flight Talk on YouTube. That is where you will be getting James Wudi exclusive content on top of obviously what you get here on the Boy Green channel. So Wudi, a great debut for all of those channels. We had been doing it on your Instagram, but shout out to people on my Instagram as well. That's awesome. So good. I'm looking forward to all this expansion moving forward.
Of course. It's growth. It's growth. All right. Started out with just Boy Green's YouTube, just James Wudi's Instagram. Now adding on your Instagram, adding on my YouTube. This is growth. I mean, we've been doing this now over a year. This is, of all the things that, are happening, jetnation.com, the different shows, different things I'm doing. There's nothing like Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. with my man, Boy Green. So I'm definitely super excited. I love, that you guys show up. You guys are showing up, showing love each and every time. So yeah, definitely. I'm just super appreciative, and of course, if for all those other days where you're trying to figure out what Wudi's saying, what negative nonsense is Wudi saying, I'll always do my best to keep it real with y'all and not hype up something to be bigger than it is. all those other days at Take Flight Talk.
All right, let's. There's a couple of super chats coming in. So, Woody, if you have to go, I know we're getting deep here.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. Stephon Diggs, what the flying hoop?
Wow.
Wow is right. June the GM, with your previous super chat, you just got yourself another raffle ticket to our contest, so we appreciate that, June. You now have 4 raffle tickets so far this month. Word on the street is where we, the New York Jets, are considering signing Stephon Diggs. Now, let me just say this. Stephon Diggs is a highly competitive MFer, and we saw him, obviously, in this Bills-Jets rivalry a lot. He blew out his ACL, so what's the recovery? I'd imagine it had to be a 1-year prove-it deal. I'm sure that's not what Stephon wanted, but it is what it is with how that's looking. Or maybe you do this kind of quasi-Justin Fields kind of 2-year-ish deal. I guess there's a world where that could exist. I have not heard that anywhere until June just said it. But obviously they need a receiver. I wonder how the personalities of Stephon Diggs and Garrett Wilson would interact in a wide receiver room, but Stephon Diggs is fun, man. And again, there's sometimes this extracurricular activity. Apparently, he is an Elijah Moore level tweeter, which I've noticed in Bills land has had some cryptic stuff of all kinds of things you'd have to prepare for. But hell, if he's catching touchdown passes, I don't give a flying hoot. But what do you make your reaction to Jets Stephon Diggs rumors? Whoa.
There's a couple of things. After seeing Mike Williams last year, I'm a little nervous about the ACL tear in an older receiver who I actually feel like was already on the decline. Right?
Who's Stephon or Mike Williams? You're saying?
No, Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs.
Oh, okay,
the Bills. The Bills cut bait with him.
Oh yes, right.
And we're better off for it. And I think he was already on the decline. Now he's torn his ACL. We have no idea who Stephon Diggs is right now. I don't think that's worth the headache, especially since we know off the field he's going to be talking about target. He's going to be talking all that nonsense. I don't think that's worth the headache. The Bills' production, Stephon Diggs, was worth that headache. But if you're going to have a guy that's not even, like that anymore, it's not worth that headache. I would honestly steer clear.
I'd like to know the money, to be honest, before I make any final decision. But I share a lot of the same fears that Wudi does. You don't want locker room is a precious place. And it's not just about acquiring talent like a Madden football team. It's about finding the right pieces that fit into your culture. And AG is trying to set a culture. He thought Aaron Rodgers did not fit in his culture. That's why Aaron Rodgers will no longer officially be a part of this team in 24 hours. At 4:01, 24 hours from now, Aaron Rodgers' ass is hitting the streets. So he's being very particular, as he should be. You never know how many head coaching opportunities you're going to get. I don't blame AG for being selective. He should be. Stephon Diggs, again, if the price is right and he has the right mentality, I'd be interested to talk to him and bring him in a room and say, all right, let's see if we align here. I'm not sure if we do, but hey, that's an exciting name. Austrian is looking for a splash. I go back to the Draft Day movie. Fans like to sit in the front row and get a splash, Sonny. Give them a splash. This would be a splash. We'll see. Badshaw here on the program. Hey now.
Wow.
Another raffle ticket for our boy Badshaw. Paul, the way you are with the draft is how I am with NFL free agency. NFL has its March. NFL has it in March because it's my birth month. Hey, happy early or belated. We still got a bunch of days left in March, so I don't know exactly when your birthday is, Badshaw, but happy birthday nonetheless. That's awesome. I love free agency. Obviously, me and Woody were talking before the show. This is the busiest time of the year. I didn't see over the last, and I'm not asking for pity or anything, over the last 48 hours or something, I haven't seen my family a lot. They keep thinking I'm coming with them to go hang out. I'm like, another story. I'm 7 stories behind. Jets players leaving, new Jets players coming. I'm doing videos for every Jets free agent that comes in. So, it's a very busy time, but I enjoy it thoroughly. It is technically work because of, how it supports my family, but I don't see it as work because I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. So
tomorrow, my God, happy early birthday.
Yeah, there you go. Happy early birthday, Badshaw. And thanks for all your support on the channel. It's meant a lot, and I'm glad that you've been on here. And look at Badshaw with another shot. He's been a member for 8 months. So cool.
Wow.
You fellas are on one today. A salute, sir. Absolutely. Thank you for the kind words, Badshaw. We love doing the show. Me and Woody have fun chemistry, and I love doing other shows when I come off and they're like, "Oh man, so how long have you and Woody known each other? Like 20 years?" I'm like, "What? No." I'm like, "I just met that dude like a year ago." You're like, "What?" And then I'm just, I just love the natural chemistry that's there. So I'm glad a lot of people enjoy that. So there you go. And one more from Badshaw here. Birthday tomorrow, Paul. I'll be 32. I turned 32. So we're only separated by, I was going to say a few months. It's a month and change. I turned 32 in April. So it's right around the corner. So Badshaw, happy early birthday, man. Enjoy it. If my brother was to send in a super chat, he did not. My brother Nick. His message to me when I was 5 was, "It's another day closer to death." So depending on your perspective, birthdays mean different things to different people. Anywho,
You should enjoy yours. You should enjoy yours.
yeah,
Yes.
you should. Yeah, you never know when's the last one. That sounds super dark too. I
Wow,
don't know where I'm going.
what is wrong with you? Don't listen to this man. So, all right, just have a great one. This is definitely not the last one. And yeah, just enjoy it. Oh God, oh my!
I'm so
Lord.
sorry. I don't know what's come over me. It's my brother, I guess. But shout out to the 800 people that are live in the room. This is one of our very longer Boy Green Meets Woody episodes. But hey, it's free and see. It makes a lot of sense. Thanks everybody for the super chats and memberships and everything.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I want to answer this question. Somebody asked me a question in all caps. I just got to answer it.
Oh, all caps. Okay. Let me see.
I would be perfectly okay with trading for Cortland Sutton. He had a phenomenal year. I don't know if you guys were paying attention, if you guys had him in fantasy.
What was his final numbers?
Yeah. Reason for Bo Nix having the year that he had. So again, if Justin Fields, I need somebody else there, and I think Sutton is actually a very solid wide receiver 2 option. Probably better than just about any option in free agency. I just don't know what the compensation would be, pick wise and all that. But just Madden style, would I want Sutton on the team? Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, Sutton had not had a good year in a long time if you are a 1,000-yard receiver guy. He only had 1,000-yard receiving season heading into this past year, and he just got himself another one. 81 catches, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, 13.3 per clip. You love seeing that as well. So shout out to one Cortland Sutton. Yeah, if he's available, what are we talking about? Although that's been one that's been rumored forever, right? Jet fans going, "This is the year for Cortland Sutton. This is the year." And it hasn't ever been. So I joked about, is Justin Simmons finally the year for him to grab him? So we'll see. But yeah, that would be incredibly exciting if that was going to come on Thursday. Woody Green Bean is going to join Boy Green Meets Woody. So you're going to have one flavor of green at least on Thursday. That's Green Bean. It's just some of the words reassociated. I can't wait for that one. That'll be at Thursday at 3:00. Should be a lot of fun. I love Green Bean.
Yes, absolutely. We'll see if any moves happen in between now and then for us to discuss. But Green Bean, one of my all-time faves in terms of Jet content creation. Absolute stud. Love his takes. So I will definitely thoroughly enjoy picking his brain this Thursday. Couldn't be more exciting.
And then one more shout out. Tomorrow morning, Jets reporter Nick Ferrier rejoins us. It's been a couple weeks. He'll rejoin us tomorrow to talk about, again, whatever these other moves that are coming up here for the New York Jets. This is awesome. And June, thank you so much for the kind words. One of the best shows online, Boy Green Meets Woody. Thanks, everybody. So, again, Green Bean in the house on Thursday at 3:00. I'll be back on tomorrow morning for Nick Ferrier on Boy Green Daily. And, again, if there's any other breaking Jets news on top of the live shows we do, we'll also have some pre-recorded content breaking down whatever Jets free agents editions are to come. Fun show, long show, Woody, but a good old time. Appreciate you, and can't wait to have some more fun later this week, pal.
Yes, absolutely. Only other thing, I know, Bad Show, you said drop that plug again.
Please,
I changed my name actually to @Take Flight Talk. Oh, if you take off the banner, it'll go back to showing our names because I changed my name to @Take Flight Talk.
Oh, there you go.
That's where it's at on YouTube. Catch my thoughts, on non-show days, and of course Abby, who a lot of you already know. She's been on the show. I would say she's probably the third. Right, obviously, Boy Green and I are on here, number 1 and 2. If there was a number 3, she would be on there because she's been on the show a bunch of times. So she will also be sharing her thoughts on the channel as well. And let's go. Let's ride.
Let's go, baby. We'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. God bless.